short.
Oh, you guys know what time it is. We are here live. You like that timing? That sounded out loud. All right, guys. Thank you for everyone here. I got to run down in a few seconds when my classmate gets out of here. She needs me to charge some batteries on a fast charge because she's covering the Omaha, Kansas basketball game. I'll just be watching the game, but either way, we got KU basketball, the number one basketball team in the country, baby. You know what time it is. Chalk, Jayhawk, national champions. Either way, let's talk about some basketball. We got a lot coming out. We'll be doing some November power ranking reactions. The Milwaukee Bucks are the contenders, arguably, to beat. The Dallas Mavericks have interest in Ben Simmons. Anthony Davis is allegedly available for trade. Who's leading the Rookie of the Year charge? Who's leading the NBA MVP charge? Besides that, a few other things. We'll talk Knicks, Raptors. The Nets are maybe not hiring Ime Udoka. Kyrie Irving might not ever play basketball again. And the Celtics were granted a $3.23 million disabled player exception that has until March 10th to be used in corresponds to the season-ending injury of Danilo Gallinari. So I'm waiting for this classmate. So if I dip out in a second, that's why. What do you want to start off here with? Something that you want to do, the Bucks contenders. So if I do leave, you can carry that conversation instead of doing the power rankings first.
Sure.
Alrighty. So we'll go over. Is that what you want to talk about, the Milwaukee Bucks? I assumed you want to talk about how the Milwaukee Bucks arguably have been the most dominant team in the NBA so far. Right?
Yeah.
Alrighty. And here's a great picture of the 2023 Milwaukee Bucks. And I know they're and the crazy part is they don't even have Chris Middleton yet. Okay. They're doing all this without their main co-star, the Robin to the Batman that is Giannis Antetokounmpo. This is your Milwaukee Bucks, the best defensive center in the league. The shot, I think he's still the leader in blocks. Brook Lopez. He's having a career resurgence. People forget how good he was. And it seems like he's been limited to a back injury for the past couple of years. That is why we thought Brook Lopez was kind of somewhat slow-footed at times. Still a solid player, but he's almost at like an all-star level. Like he's at a high starter level. So, hi, Mai. Hey, Mai. What's up, my guy? And yeah, no. What's up, Jalen Johnson? Yeah, nobody's talking about the Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's going to win his third MVP if he continues like this. Bobby Portis is in the MVP conversation according to Basketball Reference. He's probably the front runner for Sixth Man of the Year. Drew Holiday should be put in the Defensive Player of the Year candidate. And Chris Middleton hasn't even played.
Did you say Bobby Portis is in the MVP race?
Yes, Bobby Portis, according to Basketball References MVP tracker, this past weekend, if the season had ended this past weekend, Bobby Portis would be the eighth place for MVP.
Not to be like shitty, but why?
He's just been incredibly efficient. Like, let me read you off Bobby Portis' stats. Like, even
33% from downtown.
No, just shut the fuck up. Yes, he's shooting 33%.
They're averaging 13.3 points. There's
but he's only players in the NBA he comes in 25 minutes a night, grabs 11 rebounds, 13 points. Is just like he's just been phenomenal. Like he comes out here and he's playing just such efficient basketball. Like his per 36 numbers are, I believe, like 19 points a night with, I believe, 15 rebounds and like half a block, half a steal while dishing out like three assists a night. And he's a guy that his true shooting right now is at 53%, which is down from the past 2 years. But his rebounding rate is 22. He's like one of the best rebounders in the NBA. He's like basically helping them win games. And his PER is 19.7, which is like basically the best of his career. He's just been a very, very, very efficient player when he comes up.
I don't get why he's efficient. He's not even better than he is last year in any facet except for rebounding.
And his defensive – okay, shut the fuck up. His defensive rating's 100.
Okay, cool.
That's insane. That's like he's having like a Draymond Green. Like I'm not saying he's that, but that's when he's on the floor, the team is so good defensively. It's just hard to not have him on the floor.
But and I know the same thing with Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Same thing with Brook Lopez
and Brook Lopez. Yeah, so I don't get. It sounds like Basketball Reference has no idea what they're doing, but that's cool. Good for Bobby. I mean, that's just like actually a little bit of an absurd take to me, but teach their own. So, if it works for them, that's cool.
I think another huge thing about this Milwaukee Bucks team is their ability they have depth. I mean, Marjon Beauchamp is starting to come into the fold. He looks good. He's a solid player that I find very enjoyable on a nightly basis. But if you just look at this team, okay, you got Giannis averaging 30. Behind him, Drew Holiday's dropping 20 points, 8 assists, and 6 rebounds a night with like 1.6 steals. Brook Lopez is dropping 15 a night with 3 blocks. Bobby Portis coming in with 13.3. Even Grayson Allen is coming out here and having a solid start to the year, shooting 41% on 5 attempts from 3 a night. And you fill that up. Then that's when you get into Jordan Nwora, who he's solid. He does a little bit of everything. You got Javon Carter, who's been a starter for them. He's their West Virginia Mountaineer defensive, the coal miner, averaging almost 2 steals a night for them. And then you get into George Hill, Marjon Beauchamp, and Wes Matthews. His tenacity has been something else for them. And they still have Serge Ibaka, Thanos, and Sandro, in arms waiting. They have Chris Middleton and Joe Ingles, who are still recovering from injury, as well as Pat Connaughton. This team is loaded. I also like the fact that there is an AJ Green that's white and plays basketball.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's on a 2-way contract for the Bucks. His name is AJ Green. He's 6'4", 190 pounds. And he played basketball at the University of Northern Iowa. And AJ Green, the wide receiver, is also 6'4", 207 pounds. Isn't that pretty funny?
Yeah.
One's black, one's white. But, I think it's just funny that they're the same height and almost the same weight. They're, 10 pounds apart. But,
my buddies met AJ Green at the Atlanta airport, when we were in high school.
That's cool. Wrap up this conversation. I'll be right back.
What's up, Aaron? How you doing? The Bucks are not losing to the Hawks tonight unless Giannis or Drew are out. I think what's super cool about Milwaukee right now that I don't think Cyro mentioned it was obviously they're without Chris Middleton, your second best player, but they also haven't had Pat Connaughton back. So I was listening to a Bucks writer earlier today on my ride home, and he was talking about how Milwaukee, they're 9-0, right? They're literally 9-0. They have right now, I think a slightly above average. Yeah, no, they're actually middle of the pack offense, 14th best offense, but defensive rating wise, they're number 1, and it's not really even close. Pat Connaughton, Chris Middleton do a lot for him. I think Giannis is. I thought it was really fascinating what they were talking about Giannis because he's a guy who is in his 10th year in the NBA and he gets hit a lot, right? Because he's just kind of the guy who does it all. He's a force to be reckoned with. He does most of his scoring down below in the paint or around the basket. So it's been cool to see. Which game was it? Dang, I can't believe I can't remember which specific. Was it Atlanta? Aaron, was it Atlanta where he scored 4 points in the first half and then 30 points in the second half? So he kind of gets everybody going, which you guys know my thoughts on ball movement. I mean, it's the most important thing in basketball. So I think Chris Middleton and Pat Connaughton, when they get back, it's going to take a load off of not only Giannis, but even guys like Drew Holiday. I was very surprised to see Drew Holiday is 32 years old. Drew Holiday's been in the league for since 2000 and what is it? 7 feels a little ridiculous, but he's been in the league for the longest time. So,
hello, I'm back.
What's Drew Holiday's age off the top of your head?
34.
Whoa, geez. No, he's 32. Wow.
Didn't he come in 08, though?
Yeah, right?
He came in 08, right? Am I wrong, or is it 2000?
It was 07 or 8 to my knowledge.
He might be 2010. 09.
Still, I
13.
didn't realize Drew Holiday's 32 years old.
Yeah, he's been in the league, 14 years?
Yeah, 13, 14 years.
13, 14, because it's always one. You think it's 13, but it's always one more because you forget you got to count the first season. But yeah, Drew Holiday,
He's playing at a very high level. He's got.
I mean, Drew Holiday is like Mike Conley. Drew
Holiday. To me, he's a better Mike Conley because he's way more dynamic on the defense.
Well, Mike Conley's more of a pure point guard. Drew Holiday's the type.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday became a point guard. Drew Holiday was more of a shooting guard. Mike Conley was more of a point guard. But two guys who were elite defensive players who were, just a very all-around game, all-star guys who never really got the recognition that they deserved.
I like Milwaukee a lot, and I think this is one of the not last years that you have this opportunity, but it's one of the last years where you have, I think, no stressors. Like, I think they're one of the most talented, if not the most talented team in the NBA.
All right, let's move on to NBA power rankings. I agree. It's like this is their time to win another. So let's go. What do you want to do? NBA.com or Sports Illustrated? Or the Athletic released a new one. So
yeah, I'm on the Athletic right now.
All right, so here we are. The Athletic. Shout out Zach Harper. I know some people aren't Zach Harper fans, but out of all the annoying, because Zach Harper, I don't blame him. Zach Harper, he's the Athletics version of Nick Wright and Stephen A. Smith. Do you agree?
I actually love Nick Wright.
I don't mind Nick Wright, but do you get what I'm saying? Like, Zach Harper, I have nothing against, but I think he says a lot of outlandish shit. To stir the pot. He stirs the pot. Okay. He's a pot stir. He does it on purpose. I think he's the pot stirrer. Because every sports media has their pot stir for they play that devil's advocate role that just pisses everyone off.
Yeah. Zach Harper's one of the only guys at the Athletic I can really get behind.
Aaron, I'm gonna take the Hawks tonight. I think DeJounte's been cooking, and I think DeJounte and Trae Young could if the 3-point shot, the Hawks will win if the 3-point shot falls tonight for both players and like the team. But let's get
the Golden State, the Milwaukee Bucks to start it off. The Milwaukee Bucks have changed their defensive scheme.
Look at number one.
All right. Yeah, exactly. And instead of letting you take any 3-point shot you want, they now have decided, oh my goodness, we have the defensive personnel of like the Golden State Warriors and the Boston Celtics, so we can actually guard everything. And that's what we're going to do. And that's what they're doing.
We're not going to talk about the Milwaukee Bucks, but at number one for the Athletic power ranking, Milwaukee Bucks. We just did a little segment on the Milwaukee Bucks. We told you why. They're 9-0. Their net rating is plus 11.5. Right now, they have the 12th best transition offense. They have the 11th best or 12th best, transition defense offense. There's basically this team's complete. So let's see who's number 2. The Phoenix Suns, 7-2. This past week, they won over the Timberwolves and lost to the Blazers and won to the Blazers. This is a team that is 8th in their transition offense is generating 118 points per 100 possessions and 15% of possessions. I don't really get these stats, but let's talk about why the Phoenix Suns right here are here. They're saying, once again, the Suns are one of the top defensive teams in the NBA. Mm-hmm. They were 6th in the defensive ratings 2 years ago. They were 3rd in defensive rating last season, and they're currently 3rd again. Not giving up points in transition is a big part of that. It can be tricky with a team like Phoenix because the Suns take a lot of jumpers. That can lead to long rebounds and quick chances. But the Suns under Monty Williams has made transition defensive mentality. They're not even giving up 100 points per 100 possessions in transitions. That's a dominant performance when you're supposed to be at a disadvantage. Now, obviously, they just lost Cam Johnson, but that's not going to affect the offense. The defense is going to affect the offense more. And, yeah, the Suns are good. I mean, Jock Landale's been cooking. And now they're going to rely on Torrey Craig a bit more. So I think, if anything, their defense is going to get better and their offense might slip a little. Maybe a Jay Crowder trade is happening sooner rather than later.
Yeah, Jay Crowder loss really hurts him right now. Is Cam Johnson is that confirmed? Because I saw that a couple of days ago.
Cam Johnson is confirmed. I made a video on it, and he has a torn left meniscus. The severity of the injury is currently unknown. He could come back before the end of the season or the regular season, but as we know, torn meniscus are very tricky.
Yeah, what? Coming back before the end of the season after a torn meniscus? Damn, dude, technology is nuts. The Phoenix Suns suck, dude. I don't like this team at all. And you know the reason why they're 7-2? Are they still 7-2? First off, Utah's better. The Phoenix, man, Devin Booker's just on something. Devin Booker, he's like Kobe Bryant, dude. I got a lot of love. I got a lot of respect for Devin Booker. And he's just a hooper, man. He is such a skilled hooper. Chris Paul can't buy a bucket at this current point. I think Mikal Bridges is definitely doing his job, which is nice to see. But I think the loss of Cam Johnson is a lot bigger than a lot of people are giving it credit for. I think he's you got Booker there, but I would say Cameron Johnson is by far the best 3-point shooter on the Phoenix Suns. It really sucks, man, because I remember when he dropped 42 or 43 at the end of last year, he got hurt, and it was just a huge blow. I don't think that they have the depth to make up for it for the remainder of the season. So I do think that, and I anticipate something to go down eventually with Jay Crowder, and I hope that like Eric Gordon, as Jalen Double J is saying here, like I think Eric Gordon would be really nice for him. But yeah, I give a lot of props to Monty. I give a lot of props to every Suns player because they went through a lot of stuff in the offseason. I still think that they're going to be a playing team, but I can see why they wouldn't as well. So
yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting situation, but let's move on to the next team just so we can continue working through these quickly because last time we spent almost 40 minutes.
It was so cool seeing Jeremy Grant's buzzer beater.
That was
Saturday or Friday night. That was just the best thing in the entire planet.
Cavaliers, they have at 3. I think the Cavs and the Suns are interchangeable. I don't get why Donovan Mitchell isn't higher on MVP list. We'll get into that later. This team,
really?
Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland are plus defenders according to defensive rating, and it's because people were acting like their wing rotation is bad, but the Karis LeVert, Jetty Osman, Dean Wade rotation as they phase out Isaac Curry is legit. And then they got themselves Jared Allen and Evan Mobley with Robin Lopez and Kevin Love as the backups. Darius Garland, Raul Neto, Karis LeVert, Donovan Mitchell have all been solid there. I think this team is just top to bottom, arguably. Yes, I know there are certain things that they could get better, but I think their paces, they're a little slow team, but they make teams play their style.
Yeah. So, yeah, I can't wait to talk about them a little bit later. I don't really actually have any issues with Cleveland. I thought it was a little annoying how good of a game they played against. Well, the game against Celtics was awesome. It was like the best game of the season to me by far. And then the Lakers win was really annoying to me because I didn't watch that game live and I couldn't find a single Cleveland Cavalier highlight anywhere on ESPN. So it's just annoying. Like I'm like, you're freaking 8-1, and I'm watching stupid Laker highlights when they're 2 and whatever, and not Cleveland, one of the best teams in the NBA.
No, I agree, and I just think this team, it was cool seeing them beat the Lakers because obviously LeBron getting beat by his old team. But yeah, Cleveland, don't be surprised if Cleveland versus Milwaukee is the Eastern Conference Finals. Now for Boston Celtics, and this is a team that now has that. I think 4 is a really good rank for them. Joe Mazzulla has been awesome. Jason Tatum, another guy that I don't know why he's not higher on the MVP. Mm-hmm. I think the only and Sam Hauser's been fantastic for them. The only weakness this team has is, and this will be fixed once Robert Williams is fully healthy, but just big man depth. Behind Al Horford, they have Luke Cornett, Blake Griffin, and Noah Vonleh. Noah Vonleh's had some decent moments, but there's a reason why Noah Vonleh fell out of the NBA. And Blake Griffin, So it'll be interesting to see how they continue to progress with this, but the athleticism, the size, and the ability they have on transition, this Boston Celtics team is doing what they did last year, and they're better at it.
I don't see that in any way, shape, or form. I think Boston completely sucks right now, actually. They
have
the best offense in the league, which is really cool because Brown and Tatum are balling their asses off. Al Horford.
Nobody's talking about how good Brown is.
Grant Williams is shooting 54% from downtown. Yeah, you're right. Jaylen Brown is a phenomenal Robin to the Batman. They've like the 5th worst defense in the league. I'm not quite sure what's going on with Boston. I don't think they're nothing like what they were last year to me, but they'll get there, I think. So Robert Williams will help them a lot, but I don't think that fixes their big man depth at all. Literally Al Horford. I don't say father time's here, but like. I have a lot of concerns for a finals run, not a playoff or a good season run.
I mean, those are good concerns. I think they're a team. Like, I honestly think if they were to get Melo, like we talked about this offseason, I hate bringing it up, but I think Melo would really help them get another because he could play power forward for them, which would then allow them to go small ball with Grant Williams.
The issue with Carmelo Anthony is he couldn't guard a door on a barn.
No, but I'm saying is you go Grant Williams, Melo, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart. That way you can play depth ball. They can't do that right now. Like Melo could maybe play that Marcus Morris role from a few seasons ago.
I'd rather go make a trade because I don't they have the best offense. I don't think they need offense at all.
Yeah,
So
I was
I
just
just think
thinking
we have to
about
beat them.
trying to get them to go small, be able to have a small ball lineup. But I
Yeah.
get what
Well,
you're
Grant
saying.
Williams, I mean, Grant Williams is on a heater too. So
Yeah,
that's
I mean
really
that
cool to
they
see.
could run Smart, Brogdon, Tatum, Brown, and Grant out there. Like that's still a possibility. But let's move on
Yeah.
to the next team. And at 5, the Atlanta Hawks. I agree with this. Okay. The one thing with the Atlanta Hawks is they're still sloppy. Everything else, this team is a good defense. They're a top 15 defensive team. They're arguably one of the best offenses in the league. DeJounte Murray is looking like a defensive player of the year candidate. DeAndre Hunter, Clint Capella, and John Collins are all doing a great job at playing their roles. And it's just that, some nights this team's been hit or miss at the 3-point line, and sometimes their shots aren't falling like they should be. And I think the Atlanta Hawks, top to bottom, like Bogdanovich hasn't even came yet, and they're relying on, off the bench. We've been seeing the Holiday Bros, Onyeka Okongwu, and sometimes AJ Griffin, but the other times it's been sometimes Frank Kaminsky. But I think this is a team that's good, and every game they play, every game they win, they just get a little bit better. They get a little bit better, and I think they're a team that is a lot more of a threat than people want to suppose. And I think by the end of the season, Okongwu will start over Capella. But what are your thoughts? I just think the sloppiness. They're not higher. They're not
I
higher.
don't think they're sloppy at all.
They turn the ball over.
They're number 2 in turnovers. They only average 12.2 turnovers a night.
Maybe
it's the second best in the league.
I know, but
I feel like I know what I get what you're saying, because
they foul.
Pretty. It's mainly Trae Young as far as sloppiness, and a little DeJounte as well. So I do see what you're saying. I think you're right. Exactly. I mean, I'm not quite sure what's going on with the NBA as far as why they're number 5, but Bogey does a lot for them, and they're figuring it out. So I don't know how they're 5. I'm not trying to be a dick, but I'm excited to see who's next, because I don't really get it.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely interesting. Because I don't know. I think this is a team that also, I feel like the Atlanta Hawks are a team to watch if, let's say, a big name became available. Like if DeAndre Ayton demanded out, I think the Hawks would be a team that would trade Clint Capella for DeAndre Ayton. Or maybe they're a team that trades. Clint Capella couldn't be traded for Miles Turner, but because why would they trade an expiring contract for a guy who's on the contract from, but
would you give me DeAndre Hunter, Clint Capella, and a first-round pick?
For Miles Turner, no, he's expiring. That's why I would say it's DeAndre.
Miles Turner. I thought we were talking about DeAndre Ayton. My bad.
Oh, DeAndre Ayton. I would want something back. I would give you Clint Capella, and maybe I would give you Clint Capella and 2 picks for Ayton.
Yeah, but my issue is Cam Johnson just got injured for me, so I'm gonna need something.
Yeah, maybe throw you. If they're really,
guys, give me a Holiday if I'm that desperate. I don't know.
Yeah, if you're desperate, or if the Hawks don't care for young guys, maybe throw in Griffin and give you 1 pick.
Whoa!
But I would
take for me.
Give you 1 pick, Capella and AJ Griffin for DeAndre Ayton.
Work for me.
So you only get 1 first-round pick, maybe slightly protected, AJ Griffin and Clint Capella for DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, it's a word.
6, the Grizzlies. I think Ja Morant, I've said in a video yesterday that Ja Morant and Desmond Bane are the best duo in the NBA right now. Ja Morant's doing stuff we haven't seen since Derrick Rose's MVP season. And Santi Aldama's been solid. He's quieted down a bit. I think the only thing keeping this team from being higher is Dylan Brooks being forced to play more minutes now with Zaire Williams out and John Conchar being the primary backup. That gives them a little bit of a weakness at the depth in the wing spot. But I think Taylor Jenkins has this team ready, and hopefully Taylor Jenkins wins Coach of the Year finally.
Wow. I think that Desmond Bane averaging 25 points is absolutely unreal.
Ridiculous.
And, I think people are starting to realize that because, Ja wasn't going to average 35 for the whole season. So they're injured and they're 7-3. So works for me.
Yeah, no, it's crazy to see how it's going down. And I think definitely when you look at the Memphis Grizzlies, obviously this team, I think like even if Ja were to get hurt, Tyus Jones has been solid. I think this is just a team. I mean, you were expecting them to fall off, but I don't know, man. I think this is a team that people are excited. They're enjoying watching. And it's just because they play good old basketball. And Desmond Bane, I can't believe he fell so far in the first round. I got to see this guy play in person my freshman year of college. TCU came to play KU. That was one hell of a game. It was really good. And for me, I think you're looking at this with Desmond Bane, Tyus Jones, Brandon Clark. You got yourself Steven Adams. These are all just good, solid pieces who do their roles every night. They're consistent. They do the same thing every night like clockwork. And that's why this team is 6th. 7th, I do think the Dallas Mavericks are a little bit high. There has been a defensive dip in this team. This team is still a top 15 in the NBA. And you know what's crazy? The Mavs, surprisingly, are the slowest paced team in the NBA right now, slower than the Philadelphia 76ers. And it's because Luka Doncic is right now at –
what's his usage?
I'm about to pull that up.
It's something insane.
First off, Luka has continued his streak now to how many games is it? He has played 8 games and has had 30 points in 8 games. He's 16 games away. No, he's 22 games away from breaking the NBA record of most 30 points a game. Right now, he's doing something only Wilt Chamberlain has done. Michael Jordan has never done what Luka has done right now. So not even LeBron James has done what Luka has done. And for me, his usage rate right here, yes, it's astronomical. Let me read you. You want to hear? Take one guess what his usage rate is.
I don't even want to go.
Okay, and he's led the league the last 3 years, almost the last 4 years in usage rate. 39.4%, almost 40% usage rate. That's like unheard of. That's like Wilt Chamberlain usage rate.
Yeah, it's insane. And
that's why I don't have them as higher. I think they're like the 10th. You can't be ride or dying every night because Christian Wood kind of fell off. And, well, it became the Tim Hardaway Jr. show off the bench. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, Tim Hardaway Jr. is shooting.
Has been cooking
from the field.
He took Christian Wood's superpowers like the Monstars.
He's shooting 31% from the field. What do you mean?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Jordan Clarkson has taught me shooting percentage does not matter. Look at Jordan Clarkson and Devontae Graham. Shooting percentage does not matter.
I don't like, dude. Luka's shooting 20-something, like 25% from downtown with 2 threes a night. He's scoreboard. Don't matter as long as you winning. Scoreboard. All I'm saying is Luka Doncic is doing something so crazy where he's averaging 36 points a night and he's only making 25% of his threes and he's only making 2 a night. This is just the start. However, are we in the playoffs? Bye-bye. Tough luck. Who gets more heliocentric? What the hell? I kind of love it. Like if you're gonna do it, like, you might as well just go like overboard. I kind of like it. I mean, it's not gonna work like for like a championship, but.
So the Denver Nuggets, they had a sluggish start, but Michael Porter Jr. is legit. Bruce Brown's legit. I mean, Jamal Murray started to figure it out. Jamal Murray, it took him a little longer than we thought to shake off the rust. But this Denver Nuggets team, the last few games, okay, they beat the Thunder, they beat the Spurs. Yes, those are 2 bullshit games, but those are the games that you need to win. They help boost the morale. And this is a team that right now, with Nikola Jokic, he's averaging only 20 points a night, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. You got yourself Michael Porter Jr. over here cooking up 17 points a night. Aaron Gordon arguably has been their second best player. He's dropping 15 a night. Jamal Murray starting to work his way in. He's only averaging 4 assists a night. And you got yourself Bones Highland, who off the bench playing only 19 minutes a night is averaging 14 points. He's actually been better than Jamal Murray. So I wonder if they're going to maybe put Jamal Murray off the bench for a little and have Bones start. And really Contavious Caldwell-Pope starting to figure it out. He had a rough start to the year shooting-wise, but this team from Christian Brown, who's their 13th guy, who I fucking hate Christian Brown, but
that's crazy.
And he's been solid for them. It goes, this team right now, Nikola Jokic, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., Bones Highland, Bruce Brown, Contavious Caldwell-Pope, Jamal Murray. Yeah, I have it right in front of me. Jeff Green, DeAndre Jordan. What?
I wanted to ask you, guess how many people they have in double digits, but you can just see that for yourself.
They have so many at double digits. They
7,
have
yeah, it's crazy. They got 7.
7 guys in double digits scored
this year, but I'm not too worried. I don't really think they're a championship contender quite yet, but like we're 8 games in, 10 games into the season, so
I think they're getting better. They're another team getting better with every game they play.
Yeah, 100%.
Toronto Raptors. So I think they're not higher because of the Pascal Siakam hip abductor injury, but Scotty Barnes continued to do his thing. I will say Scotty hasn't taken the jump that we thought he would take. Don't get me wrong. Scotty's still a great player, but if we're being honest, Scotty, we thought he was going to drop to that 20. He's still being the same guy he was, being a bit more efficient this season. He's shooting a lot better, but he's just doing what he did last year. He's probably going to be a guy who breaks out fully to the 20-point scoring in his 3rd or 4th season, or maybe at the end of this season. But it's right now, OG Anunoby is another Defensive Player of the Year candidate, averaging 3.1 steals. Fred VanVleet and Gary Trent, they can drop 30 on any night. Chris Boucher, his versatility, his length. And then you got Christian Koloko, who's just been, block party. And you thought that maybe playing him this early would be a hindrance to his development. It's been anything but a hindrance to his development. It's been fun to watch Koloko. And, thoughts on the Raptors?
Yeah, Coloco's, dude, it's actually been super cool. He's been money in the pick and roll too. Scotty's shooting 40% from downtown, so I'm curious if the scoring will start to happen as the year goes on. I guess as Thomas just said, the backup point guard position is still enticing to me, but it's still, I guess, being held down. And I guess Thaddeus Young sucks now, so I'm not quite sure what's going on with that, but they're still really deep and they're still really good, and they're a top offensive and defensive team. So.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's good. And let's move over to 10. Portland Trailblazers. I agree with this. I think they will be higher if Damian Lillard returns tonight. It's going to be good.
Really?
Yeah, he returns tonight. It's been announced.
Oh, I gotta change my fantasy team.
Yeah. So any thoughts before this? I'm going to run through the next 20 pretty quickly.
Just run through them.
Okay, ready? At 11, we have the New Orleans Pelicans. I agree with that. You?
Sure. Yes.
12, Utah Jazz. That's good. That's a good spot for them. They deserve it.
They're top 10. They're probably number 10.
Maybe we could flip fall. 13, the Clippers are way too high. The Clippers are like the 20th or the 21st best. The Clippers are bad. Okay. 14, Minnesota. Yeah, they're middle of the pack. I agree with that. They've been getting better, but they've been Chicago. I don't know.
They're pretty good actually, but
they've had moments. They're not healthy.
Yeah.
The Knicks are too high. The Knicks are lower. Jalen Brunson. This team's been pushing the ball, but Brunson's been their best player, but this team sucks at defense.
Yeah.
Now, Sixers, this team's worse. I don't believe in the Sixers. Fire Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
Miami, they'll figure it out. They're starting to figure it out. They had wins over the Warriors and Kings. They lost to the Pacers, but hey, what are you going to do? They just got to figure out how to get rid of Lowry and put Vincent in the starting lineup.
What can they do? They're playing.
Pacers at 19, I think, is a bit high, but Benedict Mathurin, Tyrese Haliburton, Buddy Hield have been insane.
Yeah.
Washington Wizards at 20. This is good. I think there's a few teams that maybe I switch them out, but for the whole, I think this is a team that, Kristaps Porzingis is back, but at times they're pretty pathetic on defense.
Yeah, it's tough, but it's early.
I don't even know what the fuck the Sacramento Kings are.
Yeah, Darren Fox is really cool.
He's cool, but Sabonis sucks.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the word is.
Golden State, they've
got the worst defense in the league. I'm pretty.
They have. I think this is more of an internal problem. I think there's an internal problem going on in the Golden State Warriors.
No, you know what the Golden State Warriors problem is their bench freaking blows. Jordan Poole thinks he's like so fucking dope. Sorry, pardon my French, but Jordan Poole literally thinks he's like the coolest guy on the planet Earth right now. And I think Draymond Green was right. And I think that James Wiseman should either be sent down to the G League or traded away for Anthony Davis or trade away Jonathan Kuminga. So I expect the trade to happen if this continues. However, keep in mind that the Golden State Warriors had the same exact problems at the start of last season and throughout the entire season.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely something that'll be interesting as all hell to see happen. But yeah, I think as more and more time progresses, we'll see if this team is actually blowing up. I think it's internal. You think it's their bench, but we'll see who
Their starters are the best. They have the best offensive rating in the league.
Really?
They're studs. Their starting five have like a plus 25. Their starting five is perfectly fine. Their bench sucks. Anytime Steph Curry leaves a game, they just lose.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's annoying, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Let's move on to the next couple. 23, the Brooklyn
22.
Nets. The Brooklyn Nets is the worst team in the NBA.
We're so back. The Brooklyn Nets are so freaking back. They are so freaking back. There's the whole Kyrie Irving situation.
You a believer
Of what?
that this situation could be fixed?
It is being fixed currently. Yes.
All right, let's move over to Charlotte Hornets 24. Charlotte started off strong, and now they've kind of fallen off. Lakers, 25 is a good spot. At 26, Detroit Pistons. Yeah. 27, Oklahoma City Thunder. Yeah. 28, Orlando
awesome.
Magic. Yeah. San Antonio Spurs. How do you have them at 29? Spurs should be way higher. Yes, they've come back down to earth.
I think they've lost like 4 or 5, but
yeah. And then the worst team in the NBA, the Rockets. Let's talk about a guy who might be joining one of the teams that we talked about, and it'll definitely be interesting if this comes to fruition. But supposedly Ben Simmons has interest from the Dallas Mavericks, and I don't know how this deal would be done, but let's talk about it. Ben Simmons to the Dallas Mavericks. What are your thoughts, and would you do it? I think the deal would have to be like Davis Bertans, Frank Ntilikina, and Dwight Powell to make the money work, and I'd throw you a first-round pick.
I tell you to go fuck yourself.
And I tell you, tell me a team that's going to give you a better offer.
Okay, all right, yeah, you know what I want. That's cool. That's what you want. That's all fine.
Ben Simmons could come off the bench tonight.
I want Spencer Dinwiddie.
Ben Simmons coming off the bench.
Wood, and I want Dwight Powell, and I also want like Reggie Bullock.
Okay.
I don't need a pick.
I'm give you Ben Simmons has a negative trade value supposedly. Yeah. Ben Simmons has a negative trade value.
We'll see
you need shooters. You need shooters. So if you don't want Dwight Powell, we'll give you Davis Bertans. We'll give you Davis Bertans, Maxi Kleber. Okay.
I need shooters.
And Frank Ntilikina.
I don't need any of those things. What I need is a coherent head coach. I need an owner who doesn't blow balls and hypocrisy at its finest.
Okay, we're talking. No. You're not the Nets. You're the Mavericks. Be the Mavericks. Give me an offer.
I'm the Mavericks.
Yeah, give me the Mavericks.
I'm the Mavericks.
I'm the Nets now.
I want Kyrie and Ben Simmons. I don't know.
Kyrie's not on the table. Nobody wants Kyrie.
I'm down. You just said I'm down. I want Kyrie.
They're telling you no. Kyrie is retiring.
Then I'm gonna call Luka. I'm gonna be like, "Yo, can you call Kyrie?" And we'll resume trade talks after we talk to Kyrie. I don't know. Figure it out.
Mark Cuban's gonna call up Mark. Mark, get over here.
Oh, yeah.
We need a shark in here. Get the shark. This is Shark Tank. Pitch us. But yeah, no, I think it's definitely interesting because I don't know what's the right thing right here, but I think if it's true the trade value is down and gone, then I really do believe it's Dwight Powell or Maxi Kleber with Davis Bertans and Frank Ntilikina. And
I want you to go fuck yourself like desperately right now.
Okay, no, I love Ben Simmons.
I know. I'm pretending you're Dallas. I know. Not you personally.
It sounds like you're coming at me personally.
What I want to happen is I want Ben Simmons to get healthy again and to just play basketball and to do his thing and get back to normal. And then you can give me a first and all these really good basketball players, and I'll be kind enough to give you Ben Simmons.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. But let's actually talk about how would Ben Simmons help the Dallas Mavericks if they were to give up like Davis Bertans, Frank Ntilikina, and Dwight Powell? What would Davis Bertans do for this team?
Why do you have to keep saying those?
I'm going to sell them to you. You like it or not?
If I'm Brooklyn, those 3 offer me Jack Diddley squads. That's what they offer me. But anyways, I think Ben Simmons really helps with the ball movement. I mean, that's why Brooklyn brought him in. Personally, I don't really think Ben Simmons is what Dallas is looking for, because Ben needs the ball in his hands and Luka really needs the ball in his hands. So I don't think that match really works that well. He would help their defense for sure, and he's a good cutter. However, I mean, I need to see Ben Simmons get back to that aggressiveness, that dunking. I need to see him not be afraid to take a layup. So I'm not a big fan of it, but I guess it's not the worst thing in the world. I'm just not a big fan of it.
Just not a big fan of it. Yeah, I think it's not I think it's a defensive move, and if they brought him in, it would be so he would be the center. I really think, or the point guard, and they'd have Luka play shooting guard or the wing. I just think they would want to have Ben Simmons be running up the ball, but I don't even know how you put them both on the court at the same time if Ben Simmons is going to be coming out there, because the thing is with Ben Simmons is that he's also a ball dominant player. So if you're going to take the ball out of his hands or Luka's hands, how is this going to work? Okay.
Maybe they would stagger him.
Hmm?
I don't think they'd stagger him though. Dinwiddie, Hardaway, Wood. I think they have proper depth to not stagger him. So I'm pretty surprised with that report or rumor idea.
Yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting thing to see.
It's cool in theory.
Yeah, it's cool in theory, and I wonder how it works, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know, and hopefully we figure it out sooner rather than later, so we can all go out and see our team, Dallas Mavericks, get better defensively. But also, I think this deal works out as the Dallas Mavericks has the shooters that the Nets are coveting. The Nets need shooters, and Davis Bertans.
I think Cam Thomas should just play a lot more basketball for the Brooklyn Nets.
Can't play defense and very inefficient.
But he can shoot. Patty Mills can shoot. Patty Mills should also be playing way more.
Patty Mills should be playing more. Now let's move on to the next subject that we had. And
shooters fucking do the right thing and quit this bull jive and get Kyrie back on your basketball team.
I know. All right, let's go over here, and we got ourselves the NBA. Let me see how much closer we can go. Right there. Can you see these numbers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So right here, if we look at this graph, so the top 10 guys for MVP right now at 10, it's Chris Paul. At number 9, it's Devin Booker. At number 8, it's Pascal Siakam. At 7, Bobby Portis. At 6, Jason Tatum. At 5, Nikola Jokic. At 4, Drew Holiday. At 3, Donovan Mitchell. At number 2, Luka Doncic. And then at 1, Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Milwaukee Bucks have 3 guys in MVP watch, with Giannis Antetokounmpo with a 68% probability of winning it. Luka Doncic has a 22% chance of winning it. Donovan Mitchell has a 5% chance of winning it. Drew Holiday has a 2.1% chance of winning it. Nikola Jokic has a 1.3 chance, and anybody else has below 1% chance.
This is the worst.
According to Basketball Reference.
This is the worst thing I've ever seen, I think, in my entire life. In my time of doing this show, this has to be, and it's not even close, the worst list I've ever seen. I have a question for you. Where is Ja Morant? And then also I have follow-up questions. Why is Bobby Portis and Drew Holiday on this list, bro?
Because that's how many MVP candidates they have.
There's no way. I guarantee
if the season ended today, this is how it would look.
That's incorrect, first and foremost. It's because they're 9-0, and this article is putting all of their stock into the fact that they're 9-0. I cannot believe Devin Booker, Ja Morant are not top 5. I don't know how that exists. I don't have any issues with the top 3. I really like the top 3. I think Donovan Mitchell needs a lot more respect in this league. I think that Devin Booker should be in the top 5. I think Ja Morant should be in the top 5. I think Tatum's good there. Siakam should probably be a little bit higher. Damian Lillard before he got injured, but I guess he got injured, so we can't really count that. I'd rather take Jokic. I think Shea is interesting, although their record is not good. So I actually don't really know what I'm looking at here. It actually kind of like frustrates me a lot. So
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely.
Where's Kevin Durant? Where's Joel Embiid? I don't.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think it's definitely interesting. I think the three guys that are actually my MVP candidates are the top three: Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, and Donovan Mitchell. Then I would put behind that John Morant and Jason Tatum and Pascal Siakam, then Bobby Portis.
Chris Paul is shooting 36% from the field, and he is shooting 27% from downtown. Drew Holiday is shooting 43%.
Averaging 10 points and 10 assists.
I'm so glad that other people agree with this. I'd rather have DeJounte Murray and Trae Young up on this list. I can't believe this is real. And somebody.
I like how everyone just agreed with you that this graph is hot garbage.
Well, I don't like you. You can't. There's no way you can sit here and look at me and tell me that graph is like solid.
It's okay. I'm kidding.
Okay, thank you. Okay, because
I'm kidding. It's pretty bad.
My mind. Okay,
it's if the season ended today. Well, let's go over here and
where was John Morant, Cyro?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
He's having the best year of his career. They're 7-3.
So I believe. All right. So there is no. All right, rookie of the year. I'm trying to find a rookie of the year tracker, NBA rookie. Okay, here we go. Wait, no, I'm trying to find the most recent NBA rookie ladder that we can use. So let's do odds checker. Right here, we got yourselves oddschecker.com and the NBA right now, their NBA rookie of the year odds. You want to see who's in first place?
Where was John Morant on that list? Yeah, I do. I think it's going to be Paolo Banchero and I need to get through it. But
all right. Beat 'em, bum. This was released on Sunday. There are 5 players on this list. Number 1, with minus 250 odds, Paolo Banchero has a 71.4% chance of winning Rookie of the Year. In second place, plus 500, Benedict Mathurin with a 16.7% chance of winning. In third place, Keegan Murray with a 7.1% chance of winning. In fourth place, Jabari Smith Jr. with a 3.6% chance of winning. And then tied with Jabari is Jaden Ivey with 3.6% chance. Those guys are tied for fourth place. Third place, Keegan Murray. Second place, Benedict Mathurin. Number 1, Paolo Banchero. What are your thoughts? I think this is a good list.
Works for me. I think there is a really big drop off from Paolo to even. I think the drop from Paolo to Benedict is probably closer than the drop from Benedict down below. I think they're very. I guess the odds demonstrate that, but I think it's very clearly there's a cutoff probably after Keegan. Muted.
I agree that there is a big drop off, but yeah, those are NBA rookie of the year odds. Benedict Mathurin or Keegan Murray would have to go. Keegan Murray would have to take his team to the playoffs. Benedict Mathurin would just have to continue doing what he did in the first 3 games for a majority of the seasons. But right now, it's Paolo Banchero's award to lose. Now, let's move on to something that we'd like to play later on in the show, and that game is about to be queued up. You know what time it is, guys? A lot of people like this time. We like to play a little game, and you guys get in with the action. All right? Obviously, you know what time it is. Always a fun time when this game comes on, and that is, ready? Hurdle. So, here we go. Hurdle time. It's that time again, TP. And yeah, the list is fine. So let's go right here and let's do. Oh, I got to zoom out. My apology.
Oh, look at that hair.
Yeah, this is a weird one. Can I go first or you first?
Yeah, you got it.
I'm going Evan Fournier.
For sure. Damn, he's over 30. Never mind.
All righty.
We have an over 30 basketball player in the Eastern Conference who is most likely balding. I will go Nikola Vucevic.
Good guess. He's in the Central. So I'm thinking he's younger than 32. He's shorter
he's a
than
center,
6'6".
right?
He's a guard. He's a guard.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Wow, he's like 30 to 32.
All right. He's taller than 6'2", but shorter than 6'6".
He's not in Cleveland.
Yeah, he's in the
Taller
Central.
than 6'2", smaller than
Not in
6'6".
Cleveland. He's not in Chicago, so he has to be the Bucks, the Pistons, and the
I'll go
Pacers.
I
got it.
It's not 30, is he?
Oh!
So what does that mean? Indiana might be right?
He played for Indiana, I believe it means.
Oh, okay.
I
Dude,
think
he
I
just
know.
went with a 6'1" basketball player.
I didn't realize. I forgot that rule.
Wait, what was that at 6'6"? Taller or no?
Shorter.
Mm.
So he's like 6'4", 6'3" to 6'5".
He's on the Bucks. He's on the Bucks.
Bucks or Pistons?
Oh yeah.
I think I have an idea.
Bucks, Pistons. He's definitely on the Bucks.
Can I take my guess? I think I know who it is.
You guessed the whole fucking game, sure. It's Joe Ingles, by the way.
Joe Ingles?
It's not Joe Ingles. Fuck.
Not on the Bucks.
He's not on the Bucks? Oh, he's on Pistons then. If this is Bogdanovich, I'm going to be so PO'd. Yeah, nice.
I just knew it was Corey Joseph after a while. Yo, what's up, Mile High 6?
For sure. Yeah, this was stupid.
What is it? 8'6", 8'7"?
Something like it.
Oh, one second. I gotta plug in this other battery. But what are your thoughts? Any closing thoughts before we end today's show? Due to the fact that I'm just changing batteries right now.
Lamar for MVP.
There we go. I have like this battery pack that I gotta. But yeah, that was today's show. Corey Joseph, Raptors legend and Spurs legend. What are you thinking?
I think daylight savings is stupid, but
they got rid of it. This was the last year.
Are you serious?
Yeah, this was the last year.
Dude, you need to spread that word, man. No, I don't think people know about that.
You don't really?
Yeah. Big time cheating today. I'm gonna, when I edit this up later tonight, I'm gonna check because I don't know how many. I think it was like 4-2 guess wise, but I don't know. Depends on. I feel like it depends on Cyro's mood if we're gonna go back and forth or if we're just.
I can do Wednesday. I think I can start doing Wednesdays again.
Oh, really? Cool.
I think we're changing our shows to Thursday at 9:30 in the morning.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so like that means we're back full time. Like I don't have a show. Yeah, I don't have a show on Wednesday. So
nice. It's exciting.
Yeah, no, it's very exciting. Hey, shout out to everyone. I think we were at we averaged for most of the show 13, 12 viewers, almost 15.
Nice. What was the last one we did that did really well, or was that last month?
The one before.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, I think it was definitely a good show. We hit on a lot of target.
Yeah, it's a cool jacket.
This is my Disneyland jacket. I love Lettermans. I own a lot of Lettermans. Lettermans were always my style in high school. I've
never owned one. Where do you get those?
eBay. I'll put here. Let me go grab a couple.
Oh, cool. I've always wanted one. They're really cool on movies, especially if it's a movies from the 70s, 80s, or 90s, and it's a football player.
So this Letterman's a little puffier. This one's just thin as fuck. Then I got this one that has the inside puffed up and it says Kansas City. This one's Disneyland. Cool. And then this one is from a high school, and it's a 1989 swimming. Has the this was some guy who was a swimmer. Bought this from Gary High School in California, class of 89.
Cool. Why would you get rid of that?
What are you saying? I can't hear you.
Why would you get rid of that?
Oh fuck! What'd you say?
Why would you get rid of that?
What do you mean? I don't
Like,
know.
why would he get rid of it?
I don't fucking know. I bought it off of eBay.
It's kind of fucked.
Yeah, but they're sick. So I have these three. I used to have a Orlando Magic Letterman jacket. It was made by Starter. It was a Starter Orlando Letterman jacket, and it was sponsored by Powerade. So it had a Powerade logo right here, and then on the other side it had a Starter logo, and it said it had 90s Orlando Magic like right here, and then on the back it said Magic instead of an A, it was a star.
Whoa.
And
what happened?
I got drunk one night, and some kid who I thought was my friend fucking stole it, and I've never seen the kid again.
That is unreal.
Yeah,
because that sounds like the coolest jacket.
It was so cool. It was all black with dark blue and gray. Like, you know, these white lines, they were gray. This was all black with blue writing and gray. And it was like the 90s. It was all 90s. And this kid, I fell asleep, and I took it off when I went to sleep when I was hot. I woke up, he had left, never saw the kid again. He stole the jacket. Is that fucked? Stole it from me while I was sleeping. I had another time on my 18th birthday. These kids who I thought were my friends, I had an ounce of weed in my pocket. I went to bed at 3 a.m. I wake up to find the bag empty. The kids had took the weed out of my pocket while I was sleeping and smoked a whole ounce of my weed. Like, bro, you could have smoked a couple G's, wouldn't have noticed. You guys smoked like fucking 15 G's while I was asleep.
It's a lot, dude.
That's a lot.
That's like, what is that? Like 240? How many bucks is that? How many bones is that?
I've never paid more than 140 for an ounce.
Oh, for sure. It's fun. It's not funny. It's kind of shitty now, but like you have all these people that you thought were your friends. Your jacket sounds like Aaron's too. His one's really cool. You'll probably see it whenever he's on next, but that seems like the coolest jacket in the world.
Yeah, no. All right.
eBay
eBay is the best place to get retro shit.
Throw up an eBay queue.
Yeah, just search up vintage. Just type in vintage and then whatever you're searching. So like vintage Atlanta Hawks, vintage whatever you want, vintage Lettermans. That's what you do. Or like another thing I do is instead of vintage, because a lot of people overprice stuff for it being vintage, do 1980s or 80s Letterman jacket, 90s Letterman jacket. Put what century, like what decade you want. So 2000s. So then people will just put that clothing. So then you don't have to get as expensive. Like these 3 jackets probably cost me $30 for all 3 of them.
Oh.
Like, yeah, you get them for like $10.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Dude, I like just did like a real quick Bulls Letterman, and it's just like some of the coolest things I saw one, like it's just really cool. I'm gonna have to check this out later tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out. I gotta go to that basketball game
for sure. Oh, tonight? Basketball back? Is this real?
Yeah, but I'm not going to the game. I'm going to the game because they're handing out pieces of the floor from the national championship, like the court.
Oh, cool.
So I'm going to the game to pick up a piece of the court.
Kansas just win it all?
You're a fuck.
Did they really? Are they defending champions?
All right, that was the end of today's show.
Unreal. Kansas won a championship last year.
This is the end of today's show. I hope you guys do enjoy. If you guys did enjoy today's show, be a friend and tell a friend. And we'll be back tomorrow.
We'll talk about this tomorrow. I'll see you.
Fuck you.
Have a good one.